Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 187 for Tuesday the 14th of November 2023. I'm your host Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby, 360G, and joining me today is...
I haven't been on for a while. Snick Fights.
I'm always here, generally. It's Nintendo Switch.
Where have you been, Nick? We have been missing you.
I've been busy having, what is that called? A social life.
Coitus.
Well, yeah, that too. You know, the odd minute here, minute there, usual.
Yeah, lucky lady, getting a whole minute of loving.
Yeah, that's what I think anyway.
Yeah.
More than some people get in a lifetime.
Yeah. So, yeah, all is good. It's been a busy week for me for gaming. Don't know about you guys, but I managed to complete a game, so I was really happy. And one of the Game of the Year shows has happened already, and it's the beginning of November, which I think is a little bit early, but we'll get into that after we've talked about what we've been playing. Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. So, and don't forget, it's a Patreon episode next week, so we're probably going to be doing the Neo Geo next week. So I've not actually spoken to Stunty Darren at all about doing
I'm not about next week.
Oh, you just ruined the
Sorry.
the thing, didn't you? Okay. All right, let me have a chat with Stunty then. Well, thanks for letting me know now.
I'm literally working all next week, like super early, so
that's fine.
All day long.
What, are we talking Sunday or Monday?
Well,
Sunday into Monday, Monday into Tuesday.
I take you're working Sunday and Monday anyway, yeah?
No,
I'm working Monday morning, which is obviously from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday onwards.
Right. Okay. We'll sort something out.
Yeah, we could have talked about this before we hit record. That would have been the professional thing.
Well, we can always restart again. Just start again.
Well, we did talk about this last week as well, so...
No, he's not going to start again. He'll probably forget to hit record and we'll have to start again. Again, and again. Yeah. That's it. So, all right, let me speak to Stunty. We'll get some dates in the calendar for next week. It's fine. It's all good, mate. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Cool. So anyway, someone is clicking mouses really loud. So please mute your mouse.
I can only just about hear it, personally, and it's not me, by the way. I don't have a computer.
It's not me.
It's got to be Darren then, watching his widget porn again. Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't got a PC, have I? So it's not going to be me.
Oh, okay. Right, so...
You turned my gain up all the way.
What game are you playing then?
No, the gain on my microphone.
Oh, right. I was going to say, what game are you playing that's making your mouse really noisy? Must be a clicky game.
Typing stuff that I forgot to type about games I've been playing.
Okay. Getting some notes down. It's always good, mate. It's always good. Yeah. Okay. Would you like me to start so you can write things down as I'm talking? Make some notes?
Yes, please. One of 46 games you've played this week.
I've not actually played loads this week because I've had one main game that I've now completed and is definitely a Game of the Year contender. And that game is Alan Wake 2. Finished it this week and wow, what a game. It's one of the reasons why I love Remedy and I love the first Alan Wake, but they took it on to another level where they meld real-world video and stuff with the gameplay really, really well. So, I mean, you guys haven't played it, have you? I don't think. No? Yes? No? Darren, did you pick it up? I can't remember now.
Pick up what? Sorry.
Alan Wake 2. No, you didn't because it's digital.
No, it's digital only.
Yeah, same with me. I ain't supporting it.
Well, you're missing out on one of the best games that's come out in a long time.
I will buy it when it's £30 digital or they bring it out on disc.
All right, well, you're missing out. So, I've got to say, it has got to be one of the most original games I have ever played. And So it's done in chapters, which isn't really a new thing. But in this one, you play as two characters. So you play as an FBI lady and Alan. So basically, the gist is obviously the game. If you know the end of the third game, spoilers, Alan's gone missing. And this game is set 13 years after the original, which is the real time frame. And this FBI lady and another character have gone there for another reason, but then Alan kind of crops up, and then you get to play as Alan Wake and the FBI lady, which is pretty cool. Now, I think I mentioned this last week. What's really cool about it is, if you are a fan of the first game, the town of Bright Falls, it's more kind of open worldy this time, so you can just go and explore the actual town itself and some of the other areas just at will, whereas in the first game you're kind of funneled through everywhere. And it's just what they've done with the game, just the upgrades to all the areas. I mean, you'll instantly recognise all the areas that you went to in the original game anyway, but it feels more alive now because you can just properly explore it, which is really cool. The area design is really, really good. Loads of cool areas in this. I'm not going to spoil it, but some of it is really freaky, which is really, really cool. Which I thought was fantastic. The sound design is amazing as well. And just everything about it. I just love the story. Everything was just so freaking good in this game, man. I loved it. I loved it from start to finish. But what I really liked about it is the way you can chop and change between the two characters, because you up to a point in the game, you can switch between the characters whenever you want. There's this area in the save room, so you can kind of go and do Alan's story, and then you can go and flip to the FBI lady and do some of her story. Just kind of switch it up, which is quite cool. So I quite like that. And there was one level which will stay in my memory forever. Now, it's one of Alan's levels. So basically, most of Alan's levels are set in the dark place, so they're all fucked up. But he can change the world with his writing, and one of the levels is like an interactive music video, and it has got to be one of the most amazing levels I've ever played in a video game in my life. So good. And if you remember the first game, if you've played it, it had a really good musical score with all the different rock music and stuff. The second game is exactly the same. It has the same band, the Old Gods of Asgard, and there's some new musical tracks, and they are absolute bangers. They really, really are. I've been listening back to some of them on YouTube while I've been working. I've just been loving them, mate. So I really do recommend this game. It is very, very good. In my opinion, yes, I know it's digital only. It's 60 quid. It's well worth the money for the game itself. It took me 22 hours to complete, and that wasn't even doing all the collectibles and stuff, which I might go back and do at some point. It's an epic game, epic story, and what I really liked about it is it shares the same game world of Control. So if you played through Control,
apart from the race of the female detective in Control compared to the one you play in the Alan Wake 2.
Yeah,
that was just DLC though, wasn't it? Webby, the Alan Wake stuff, Control, that wasn't in the main game, was it? So I know there was big stuff about them, or was it just like text files relating?
No,
to
so there was
game?
DLC there was an Alan Wake DLC for Control. I never played it, but I saw the videos.
I played it in the Ultimate Edition. That was really good. I like that.
However, other stuff that isn't in that Alan Wake DLC is referenced in Alan Wake 2, because basically the Control and Alan Wake are set in the same universe. So basically, you know, the building that Control is set in, it's the FBC or something, the Federal Bureau of Control. That agency is in Alan Wake 2 quite heavily towards the end of the game. And also characters, really cool characters, which I'm not going to mention now because it'll spoil it, from Control are in Alan Wake 2. Now, there's one in particular which I recognise straight away, and he is a really good character. Absolutely fantastic. So you'll know who he is straight away. And yeah, it's really, really cool. So I really like that. That they did that. And whilst I was playing through Alan Wake 2, it really felt like the game was a labour of love for them to make, because, you know, games these days are just chucked out quite lazily, in my opinion. This come out and they've put so much effort into it. I mean, the graphics are amazing, the voice acting, the characters. They've even tweaked the gameplay. So, for example, you don't run out of breath anymore, which was really annoying. They've slightly changed the way the flashlight works as well, and the shooting, it feels a lot better as well. So they've definitely improved things. And
so Alan Wake's given up the fags then?
Yeah, he has. I think he's gotten a bit more fit whilst he's been in the dark place for 13 years. So, yeah, it's a fantastic game, and 100% it's in my top 5 this year. Definitely. It is fucking amazing. It really is. So, and the other thing that was quite cool, did you ever watch a show called True Detective?
Yes.
So there's elements of that in there. There's like a case board in there, and you've got a piece of clues together for things, which I thought was quite cool as well. So, yeah, really enjoyable experience. It's definitely one of the best games I've played for a while, just because it's so different. There's nothing else out there that's like it, and I really enjoyed that, because obviously, you know, we're inundated with RPGs and shooters and action games, etc. They've done something completely different with this game, and I really do appreciate that. And the love and dedication to this game has really shone through, in my opinion, just with that quality and just everything about it, because that the quality is there, but it's like takes such inspiration from things like Twin Peaks, where it's just really fucking weird at times. It really is a head fuck, but it's really it's just really cool the way they do it. Like, so for example, there's these puzzles with light and the rooms change around, and you get levels which are like bad dreams where you're kind of on a loop and you've got to figure out how to get out of it and stuff like that. It's just, sometimes the game is it's like a mind fuck. Sometimes it's really scary. Sometimes it's like an action game. There's all these different melds of things. And it's just a great experience. I just think it's such a great game. And I know you guys are like, oh, it's not physical. But I think if you're going to be like that, you're just missing out on a fantastic game there. Because it is so
I've got enough to play, mate. I don't mind.
Yeah, I have as well, mate. You know I'm like Webby. I'm still playing games from like 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but you're missing out on...
Well, I understand. I mean, because I know
game.
Control, I think it sold well, but not as well as they thought. That's why they was like selling them off really cheap. When I say I got the Ultimate Game of the Year edition thing, I think I paid like 12 or 15 quid for it, like pretty quickly. So it means they probably printed off more than they, or more than they sold. So that's why they got rid of them.
Right.
But we'll see. And when they bring out like a physical version with all the DLC for nothing, and you've got to pay it for it again, and then we get our nice, physical edition, we could say to you, ha.
Well, they're never releasing a physical edition. They've already come out and said that, mate. So
yeah, they lie. They all lie.
All games companies talk out their arse.
Yeah,
well, I know that. I mean, I am quite surprised that they didn't bring out a physical, but yeah.
Well, they said that with Sonic recently, didn't they? Sonic Origins and Sonic Mania. They're like, oh, we're not releasing a physical version. I swear, we never got to buy it digital. And a year later, they brought it out. And then they said, last time we lied and said we're not. Well, this time with Origins, we're really not bringing out a physical version. And a year later, and guess what? They did. So, but we'll see. If not, like I said, if it goes cheap, like on sale, then I'll buy it. But I'm just not gonna spend 60 quid on a digital only game like brand new.
That's fair. It's fair enough, mate. That's up to you. But I just think, if you can wait, great. But you're just at the minute just missing out on one of the best games of 2023.
Well, what did you get it? Did you get it on Steam or PC?
No, I got it on Xbox.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe, like I say, when it's on sale, I will. But I just don't agree with it, mate. So what more can I do? Vote with your wallet.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, mate. No, I applaud people who stick to their principles. So I've got nothing negative to say about that at all.
Well, like I say, mate, I was I was playing Alan Wake because that came, the first one came out the same day as Red Dead Redemption. Yeah. So everyone out was buying, Grand Theft Auto Cowboys and making that sell mental, and they decided to bring it out at the same day as that, and I was like,
I know.
Advised. So this, when they're releasing stuff like that, they're not had the best track record, of releasing games like the right time. But then, like I said, I bought the limited collector's edition with like the huge books and all, soundtracks and stuff.
Yeah.
So when it came out, I spent like 50, 60 quid on that edition. So I am a big fan, but I don't know. I mean, eventually we are going to go all digital, even if we don't like it. But so I can't drag my heels kicking and screaming, can I? So
yeah, I mean, I've still got my collector's edition of Alan Wake 1. Yeah. In that book kind of thing, and also when the original game came out, they did actually release a couple of books as well, and I bought those with like some extra backstory and stuff, and they were really good. Really enjoyed them.
Yeah, I think I got some of them actually somewhere.
Yeah. So I'm a mega fan, so I might be a little bit biased, but
I was a fan the same as you, Webby, wasn't I? I got the same, but like I said, just don't agree with it at the moment.
Fair enough.
Like I said, indie developers, smaller titles, things, niche type games, I get it, but nah, not like that.
Fair dues, mate. Anyway, that's enough on Alan Wake 2. Game of the Year material. Nick, tell me a game you've been playing, mate.
Yeah, well, I played another game because that was on, there's DLC for Resident Evil Village, the Shadow of Rose DLC, because obviously...
Oh, yeah.
The Halloween, so all the Resident Evil scary stuff was on offer. So I think I actually bought the whole gold edition for like 16 quid, which is weird because, like I said, considering I've now gone on a mini rant about I don't like digital, I've bought Resi 2, 3, 7, and now 8, all physical, and then a year or two later when they're cheaper, I've bought them all digital, so I own them both. So but like I said, it was 15 quid for everything, including all the DLC, and so you could play it in third person mode as well. Okay. So I thought, what's the point? For 16 quid to buy the whole lot and all the DLC, that didn't make much because it was 16 quid for just the DLC on its own.
Right. Okay.
So for the same sort of, if it's like I say, if it's cheap enough, I'll buy it. And I've looked at it for for about a year, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay that for 4 to 5 hours of story, as a side story. But I'm glad I did in the end because, like I said, it was cheaper. But it's not bad. Did you play it when it was out, Webby? Have you played it?
No.
No?
No.
I have.
Yeah? What do you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good addition to the game. I was kind of gutted that you're forced to play it in third person. It would have been nice.
Yeah,
if
that
they
was a weird thing because, like I say, when Resi 7 came out or announced it, and it was first person only, and a lot of people, including me, were like, "It's just a PT rip off. You're just copying all these other games and blah 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 blah." And like the same with me, then I didn't buy Resi 7 until 6-7 months later, second hand off eBay, because I just didn't agree. I thought they were just like completely copying, other games rather than making their own style game. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed 7, and like I said, I enjoyed 8 not as much, but that was because that was a lot more action. I think they toned down the scares, because I think 7 was a lot more scarier than people thought that was going to be.
More of an unsettling atmosphere, wasn't it?
Yeah, especially with VR.
Was blatantly like, let's do 7 and throw in a little bit of RE4.
Yeah. But yeah,
give it like an RE4 film.
Yeah. So basically, you don't play as Ethan, who, spoilers, he died at the end of... Well, he died at the end of 8, but it turns out he was dead actually from the start of 7. He was dead all along.
Yeah.
Also, it's one of those, Bobby Ewan coming out of the shower things, it was all a dream, you were dead all along, stuff like that. But
what, you mean I wasn't able to magically reattach my limbs? You mean that wasn't a normal thing that people could do?
Yeah. I mean, you can reattach limbs, just not with a bottle of water.
Yeah, or basically, some sticky tape and a bit of glue or something.
Yeah, and some nails, or what would they use, staples and stuff. I was like, okay. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed that. And this one, you play as Ethan's daughter, Rose, or Shadow of Rose, which is set. I want to say, I didn't say exactly, or I missed it because I streamed it.
I think it's about 18 years later.
Yeah, something like that. She was a baby in the first one, about 1, wasn't she? Less than 1. And now she's, I think, 15, 16 or something at high school, and basically getting bullied because she's a special girl. She's got not that kind of special, she's got because obviously she was born from Ethan, who was dead or whatever he was. So she's got the mold infection in her, or the mold superpowers. So she sort of glows white, and she can stun and control people, and obviously got sort of superhuman powers herself. And basically, one of the guys who work for Chris Redfield comes and gets her and is like, "Oh, you got to go to this area because I can't remember. See, that's how good the story was. I'm forgetting already because I think I played this 3 or 4 weeks ago. Obviously, I don't want to spoil it all because some people not have played it, but yeah. So you look at a jar for some reason, as you get teleported into a weird world where stuff's going wrong. But this game, it feels more or the DLC, it's more like a Silent Hill game than a Resident Evil.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a lot more dark and things like that, and there's a few bits if you don't those China dolls and mannequins and stuff like that, that's a scary bit. And there's a few jump scares which I don't normally get, but one of them on screen really got me because it did that thing where it's turned all the lights back on, everything's perfect now, and you go through a door and all of a sudden there's just a huge mannequin there, and it just scares the crap out of you, which that's always fun. But yeah, instead of that, she's basically, there's different herbs in this game. I think you've got white herbs, which basically you find those and you refill her power, so she can freeze the enemies.
Like a UV kind of ability, isn't it?
Yeah, where she can freeze them all. And then there's a few puzzles where you got these purple flowers, which you have to use that to kill the flowers so that stop. Because a lot of the house, basically this is set in parts of Resi 8. The house with Lady D, the really tall one with the huge tits. It's set in her house. You
start off in the dungeons, don't you, basically?
Yeah, and you basically end up there, sort of underneath, because they've added a few areas. Same things, like puzzles and things like that. The only thing that's a bit iffy, there's a few stealth sections towards the end, because there's only 5 chapters, but it was more of a, oh my god, that scared the crap out of me, that was so good. But then,
cool, yeah.
But then after like the 7th or 8th time you've died, you're like, yeah, it's not scary anymore because you've got to work out the exact pattern, where to go. So you've got to stand here, wait for that one to go past because you've got like these weird China dolls that float about with, you know, like lights coming out of their eyes, and you can't walk into the light. You have to wait for them to get to a corner, you know, and turn around and go the other, and run to that bit and then stop here and go to that bit and stop here. That sort of stuff, which is good, you know, for stealth, but it's like, you have to do it exactly how they want you to do it. Mm-hmm. And the only way you can learn exactly how to do it is to die a few times, if you see what I mean. Because sometimes you go where you think you're supposed to go, but you're actually supposed to go, then turn and run back and go back to where you come and wait again. But I mean, it's pretty good. I know it's probably gone back up now as Halloween and all that is finished, but it's definitely worth. I think, like I say, the Game of the Year editions went down to like 16 quid. So with all that in Resi, it's definitely worth it. Plus, like I said, I don't know why they added it so you can play the main game in third person as well.
Yeah.
Oh, right, weird.
Yes, you can play through the whole, you know, two ways of playing it. It's just a weird thing that they made a big thing of making it go first person, and now they're sort of backtracking. I suppose it's the remakes of 2 and 3 that sold really well and done pretty well. Maybe that made them change their minds.
Maybe.
But we'll find out. I think there's been talking, like with Capcom, they still haven't announced a game for March or something, so I mean, they're talking, there's some leaks of Resi 9, which is quite obvious, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're all going back to third person, aren't they, I believe, for the later ones?
They might do.
No, I think they've said like that was the last one they were going to do like that for a little while. But,
which is weird, because if those 3 are the Ethan trilogy, and people call them like the first person trilogy, for them to go the third one to not be first person, it's kind of weird, you know? Or maybe they'll let you do both.
I mean, it's kind of cool that you can play RE8 in 3 different viewpoints, technically.
Oh, yeah.
You can play it in first person, third person, or VR.
Oh, yeah.
How did they take that away, though? Was that PC? Because I know they didn't put it on PlayStation VR, did they?
It was added later date. Yeah.
I didn't know that, because I know they were talking about putting it on, because wasn't 7 like the main first PlayStation, you know, full game for VR on the PS4?
Pretty much, yeah. And then no other companies.
They were like, nope. Because
I mean, there's a few that did it in a couple of modes. You had Ace Combat did add like a little mode, and same with Tekken 8 or 7. Sorry, you could do like a character viewer thing in VR, etc. I mean, it's even nice that they put those kind of modes in there now. But to be honest, getting onto sort of like PSVR 2, it's outside of like RE8 and literally a couple of other games like Gran Turismo and stuff. It's just literally just like indie games.
Yeah.
Just fucking indie games, and like literally 90% of them are first-person shooters or something. It's just like, really, you could do so much with this format, and you just can't be bothered.
I think even VR is just kind of dying on PC. I mean, you don't really hear much about it now. It's really weird. I went through like a heyday a few years back where everyone was talking about it. There's loads of games coming out, and they just don't hear anything about it, you know?
Actually, what you want is a first-person game franchise where the world itself is a major big character of it, and it's fantastically done. Whack that in VR, and you've got a fucking winner. But nope. Like, and it doesn't even have to be a game that's made for VR. You could just literally make it normally for everyone else, but you also have the option to be able to play for it in VR.
Yeah.
I think that's like a lot of these companies think it's like they want us to buy it like loads so they'll support it, but we don't want to buy it until they support it.
Yeah, until it's
kind
got
of like
enough
that,
games.
and the technology's not quite there for the price that everybody wants to pay. Because like a lot of the cheaper ones at the PlayStation, especially the PSVR, because, you know, the resolution and stuff like that isn't quite what it needs to be for VR. So I think a lot of people get motion sick playing it for more than like 5-10 minutes. So it's like, oh, the only way to get around that is to have, you know, like really expensive headsets with like eyeball tracking and stuff like that, and then you're talking, you know, into the thousands, and no one was going to pay that.
Well, PSVR 2 has eye tracking and all that stuff on it.
Yeah, I think it's not as good as some of the other ones. Well, obviously the PSVR headset for like 500 is not as good as some of the ones that are like a couple of grand, obviously, but it's like one of those things, until they support it, we won't buy it, and they ain't going to support it until we buy it. So it's one of those ones that's probably just going to die on its ass and then come back in another 5 to 10 years when the technology's so cheap that they can sell us the headsets for like a couple £100, you know, and they're like 8K ones, and it might do well then, but just, again, not there yet.
Yeah, because the ones that are out now that say they're 4K and all that, like, they're not. They're absolutely not.
Well, they're like the same way the PS5 does 8K with, you know, an asterisk next to it. You know, it's like...
Yeah, ridiculous. Right, shall we move on?
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Darren?
Well, I haven't really played anything new at all this week, just...
Wow.
Mucking around on old stuff. I just got sort of like... I'm in a bit of a slump, to be perfectly honest.
That's because you haven't bought Alan Wake 2.
Well, no, it's got nothing to do with that.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But yeah, I don't know, I've been in a kind of slump. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a gaming slump. I'm just kind of slightly dissatisfied with the gaming industry as a whole at the moment.
You're telling me Spider-Man 2 isn't your game of the year?
Absolutely fucking not, mate. That's not even top 5 material, although according to some, it's game of the year material, but hey-ho.
Yeah, I was like 3/4 away through last week's podcast, and yeah, so you seem to be enjoying the Spider-Man LGBTQ version 2, whatever it's called.
Fucking hell. It might as well just be called Tickbox, the fucking game there. Anyway. So yeah, I've gone sort of just been playing stuff I can just dip in and out of reasonably quickly. So sort of like Diablo 4 I played a little bit of this week.
Yeah.
Just running through some nightmare dungeons. I can't remember if I played with you this week at all, Webby, or whether that was the week before.
Time just
we had
gets
a little
lost.
session on there. So yeah, it's still a fun game. I do really like it, but like so many games that have come out this year, because I was having this conversation in party chat earlier on when we was talking about the game of the year nominees, which we'll probably talk about later. And I know I started off this year with like the great almighty, like this is one of the best years for gaming in ever and stuff, but pretty much every game that I've really enjoyed has a big but about it. And there's still huge buts about stuff like Diablo 4. As much as I enjoy it and I play it, there's just events in it and stuff that just doesn't work. It's almost like you're sitting there playing some of the things and you just think, did you even fucking playtest this? Or it's like, kill all the enemies inside the summoning circle to summon the demon. What are the enemies that spawn? Oh, all ranged enemies that sit outside the fucking circle. So you can't actually complete the event. Well thought out, boys. Keep it up. Like, I just don't remember issues like this with older games back in the day.
So I mean, I haven't really thought about those issues. I mean, I'm really enjoying playing Diablo 4 again. I've actually got to level 60.
I enjoy playing
now.
it. Yeah, which is why I still play it.
Yeah, I've had quite a lot of evenings on it actually this week with D-Twin, Frosty,
good,
and Hetero from the community. I've just been running, you know, the green zone. I've got up to level 4 now on the world tier. Just loving it, mate. It's just a really cool to play co-op and just chat shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm enjoying it more than when I originally played the game. I mean, it's saying something because I'm a higher level now than I was with my original character. So my original character is only level 48. So I am really enjoying it this time because I'm just dipping on, playing it on my Xbox, on my Steam Deck, or my PC, just whatever the mood takes me, but most evenings there's people on to play with, which is really, really cool at the minute. So
yeah, it's always a bonus. Yeah. Always having people there to sort of play with and such. Yeah. But again, it's a part of me actually wonders if a few of the issues that I do actually have with Diablo 4 would exist if the game wasn't like an always online live service.
It does feel like an MMO.
Yeah, it's like an MMO light, and then you'll get some people who'll be like, "Oh, but the seasons and stuff," and it's like, yeah, but they still did the seasons in Diablo 3, and that game wasn't always online. Like, you don't necessarily have to have the game always online for seasons. You obviously need to be online to do those. But yeah, obviously, like you get like weird rubber banding every now and again.
It feels very much like Lost Ark, Darren. If you ever played, I don't think you played that, did you?
No, it's on PC.
Yeah, a little bit like Lost Ark or Path of Exile, trying to be more multiplayer orientated, And I get it, but you can see
there is a space in that genre for that, yeah. But then even this, it's not really. It goes about as MMO as Destiny does.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, you can have loads of players. All Oh, what's the max group of players you've ever played? 8. All right. Yeah, you go into an area to fight like an area world boss or like a Legion event, and you have like a maximum of about 8 other people, and you're just like, huge MMO, massively multiplayer.
Loves
8 people, like.
Well, that's not that massive, 8.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like a joke in theory.
Well, some of the world bosses I've done, there's been about 20 players there. You know what I mean? That's quite similar.
I've only ever come across like about 6 to 8 people in a world boss, and I've always fought the same fucking world boss. It's always been the guy with the gold and the big whatchamacallit, the big like treasure chest that he swings about like a club.
Oh right, yeah.
It's always that one I always come across. Okay. And I thought, do they spawn in the different areas? Because there's different spots for them to spawn. And it doesn't even tell you, because you'll look on the map and it'll be like, I've sightings of something the pestilence, something so-and-so and so-and-so in this zone. So you don't even know what one you're going to get until you go there.
Right, yeah.
So you probably go all the way back there and be like, oh, he's back. Oh, it's the same fucking boss again. When there's like a thing in the Traveller's Journey or whatever it is for defeating all of the different bosses.
Yeah. But no, I think Diablo 4 is fun. If you don't take it serious, you just want to jump in and kill some shit and just have a bit of fun with your mates, That's why I'm liking it anyway.
And it's definitely does. It is a time passer game as well. It's like one you'll stick on, and before you know it, like an hour's disappeared.
Yeah.
And you feel like you've barely gone up like a Paragon point or 2 Paragon points or something in that time frame.
Yeah.
Definitely. But that's where the game definitely gets more interesting, when you get into all the Paragon stuff and like the glyphs and which ones do you socket and which way do you go around the board, etc.
Yeah. That's good. I am liking it.
It's kept my attention since it came out. When did it come out? Like August?
Did it come out in August? I can't remember when it came out. It's been out for about.
It was literally it was literally a week, or it was either the week before or the week after Street Fighter 6.
Right.
which is a little preview for the next game I'll talk about when I come round again.
Nice. Cool, man. Yeah, nice. That's one of the games off my list as well, mate. And okay, so.
Oh, that's one thing I was actually going to ask you. Sorry. Have you guys figured out how to do the summonings of the different bosses yet?
Summonings? I didn't know there was summonings.
Yeah, so when you're in the Hell Tides or in the green areas or doing the open area True Whisper stuff, you'll sometimes kill an enemy and then it will say the shadows of something are gathering, and then like another weird enemy will spawn and you'll kill it and it'll drop like a blackened femur or like a hand or a head.
Right.
And they're like crafting materials, and you use those to obviously fight against some bosses under the Tree of Whispers in like a little area. But then there's special bosses you can fight if you create them using certain materials, and one of which is hard. Is it like something black steel? So when you go into the Helltide, there's one chest there that's guarded by like a powerful enemy.
Right.
And he's in a bubble above it, and it costs you 300 cinders to open up the box that he's protecting. Which is a fair bit. Yeah, and when you kill him, you can open that box up, and he drops like one of these steel things, which is like a crafting requirement for fighting one of the unique bosses they added to this DLC or something. I was just wondering if any of you guys had actually figured out how to do those yet.
No idea, mate.
Right.
No clue at all. Sorry.
That's fine. Sorry about that.
All right. Okay, so you guys aren't going to give a shit, but I was really pleased over the weekend because I got my first ever win on iRacing. Woohoo! And
I watched your video.
Oh, thank you very much. I was really shocked.
Thumbs up.
I was really shocked because
someone was up your arse most of the whole time.
Well, that, but I'm usually, I've been playing in iRacing on and off for a few years now, and it's notorious for being really hard to win a race on because people take it so serious, right? So I was really surprised because I qualified in pole position, which I'd never done in iRacing ever before. And the race was not easy because I had someone up my arse the whole bloody race. And on the last lap, he overtook me, and then I got the place back again. So I was really pleased that I won that race because it was fought hard and I won. So
I was a bit gutted there wasn't audio. Because I just imagined you going, fuck it, or something.
Leading from me.
The whole way, yeah.
Oh, right. So, no, because I didn't live stream it, you see. I just recorded the replay because all my replay saved. So, yeah, and I was thought I'd put it on YouTube because it was my first win. So, yeah, I was really happy because I've been practicing on that track quite a bit this week because basically the way it works is it's like for each car class there's a track per week, so and it's quite a slow technical track, so it was made it quite difficult, and I was just very pleased that I managed to win that race, mate. It was really, really good. So yeah, happy joy.
I initially thought at the start of it that the cars weren't exactly that fast, and then I was like, they're doing a rolling start or like something on the thing.
Yeah, so it's the one because it's a GT3 cars, and it's really weird because they do a rolling start. And it took me a while to get used to because all the other car classes I've played on there are standing starts on the grid. So
right,
yeah, so it's really weird because what you'll find is on quite a lot of those races, people crash on that rolling start. It's really funny.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
Back of the grid.
Yeah. So that's all I want to mention on iRacing, and also just while on racing games, I'm still playing Forza, and I'm still enjoying it. It still has its issues crashing on PC, etc., but I'm still playing it. I put over 60 hours into it now, so
Nice.
yeah, it's I do it for me dailies on my Bing points, but it's still enjoyable. Yeah, those
Speaking
are
of
my
the
two races.
dailies,
Yeah, go on.
and racing games, when I pop down my friend's house, I usually play Gran Turismo 7. And obviously, as you know, that has the daily rewards on that. We do so many miles.
Yep.
He only ever wins cars when I'm round his house.
That's so funny.
Every other time he's like, I usually just get a few grand, and I only ever win cars when you pop round.
You are his lucky charm, man.
I will say the last there's a couple of challenges on that like we've been proper struggling with as well.
Oh,
so you get like the overtake challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to make a single mistake. You can't hit a barrier. You can't go off the road. You can't hit another car.
Yeah.
There's like one on the dirt track that's a complete pain in the arse, and I think it's the last musical one.
Oh yeah.
Where you have to race for the music. There's one where they put you in a Porsche on Nürburgring.
Brilliant. My favourite track.
Not my favourite car.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Gran Turismo 7's a really good racing game. It's a
it is,
good,
yeah.
I played it for 18 months, quite solid. Feels great with the steering wheel. Has a really good single player campaign. It feels very much old school, like the old Gran Turismos. You have your licenses and your challenges and all that sort of stuff, and that's what people enjoy, right? The only thing that does let it down is the multiplayer a little bit, just with the standard lobbies, but it does have the weekly races, which always go down quite well with a lot of people. So I think it's fantastic, and as a console sim, it is definitely better than Forza, 100%. And that really saddens me to say that that's the state of the current Forza, but it is what it is, mate. But yeah, good times. Yeah. Anything else you want to say on GT?
No, I just thought I'd mention that because I always found it funny.
Yeah. Nick, back to you, mate.
Yeah, so it took me a while, but I finally finished Final Fantasy 16.
What a game. Do you know what makes me sad, Nick?
What?
It's not been on any Game of the Year lists I've seen so far, which I think is a travesty.
Yeah, but obviously there's reasons for that, depending on what games are and what games aren't in it. But I don't care. I watch those games awards for, the reveals and the trailers for new games. I don't really put much stock in what wins and what doesn't win because it's kind of like, the Oscars and it's all bait for whatever reasons that they have to win stuff. It's not actually what are the actual good games, or it's like, not to say all the games that win the game of the year are crap, but a lot of them it's for they pick them not for the reasons just because the game's good, it's for other stuff. Like when Elden Ring's won it. What was it Elden Ring won or outright game of the year? I want to say it was either last year or the year before.
But, it was last year.
Yeah, but God of War or whatever won everything else. Or there was a game that won about 7 or 8 of them, and Elden Ring won nothing until one final game of the year. I was like, how did that win best art style, best score, best all this stuff? And then they gave it to Elden Ring. I'm like, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? But
because Elden Ring's available on more platforms, that has sometimes a thing to do with it.
Maybe it's like game that sold the most 2023.
And it was a game that was like massive for a fair amount of time.
Yeah.
Still strange we haven't got an announcement, like a proper actual trailer for the new DLC that's planned for it, which was announced last year as well.
I thought that already came out this year.
No.
It's
something to do with the tree, the something tree, I think it's called.
I don't know, I played it for an hour and didn't play it anymore because I suck at them, but a game I didn't suck out, even though I played it on story mode, so it's really easy and I barely died. It's Final Fantasy 16. But yeah, I liked it. Webby, like because I've watched a few videos like afterwards, like explaining the ending and stuff, which didn't really need that much explaining, but like just a recap of the story. It's pretty much it is a Final Fantasy game, innit?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like even though it doesn't play like the old, RPGs, they're a bit more action. I enjoyed it, but it's the usual one. Like, okay, you're fighting this, and this is the bad guy. Oh no, you've killed them. No, this is the real bad guy who's bigger and more powerful. Oh, that guy's turned good and he's on your side now. But now this super bad guy has turned up, and I'm like, I mean, it did get a bit weird to the end because one of the guys turned up. I can't think of his name. That's how good he was. He died, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Am I supposed to know him? And I was like, oh, I saw him like 45 hours ago. I was like, oh, I thought you 45 hours ago. You must have made a great impression on me, mate. But yeah, I mean, the only real bad guy I liked was Hugo. The really big, huge, muscly bloke.
Yeah.
He was quite cool. And basically, the fighting in like some of the icon battles, because that's the thing with Final Fantasy. Normally, you have the icons or the summons or whatever you call it, and you just unlock them, and you either, like in older games, you just use your magic points or whatever to summon them. And then later on, which 15, I didn't like, they just turned up whenever they felt like it, didn't they?
Yeah,
you had them, but you couldn't actually use them, which was kind of, it was cool when it happened, but it's like, why are you not, I think there was only like 4 or 5 in 15. But like I said, they just turned up whenever they wanted. Whereas this one, it's a kind of, I mean, they did take a lot from other games and movies. They took a lot from Game of Thrones, but then Game of Thrones took a lot from everything else over the years, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Like that sort of older medieval type thing. But basically, your main character Clive, he's like with his brother, like set in the past where basically all shit hits the fan, and your brother is like the chosen one because he is what they call. What was that called again, Webby? Where they've got an icon in them. Let me just finish it as well. Like not the chosen or something.
Some super awesome dude.
Yeah, basically. So his younger brother has got the icon power of the Phoenix, and you didn't have anything, so you just became his protector and things like that. And basically, mutiny happened. The king got killed by the queen, and who was having an affair with big muscly guy. I'm pretty sure that's like all within the first half an hour to an hour of the game. And then you basically get separated. But then it turns out Clive, which is kind of a cool name for a main character of a video game. Clive.
Yeah.
Because I suppose all the weird emo-y names have gone. But basically, which you don't realise that he has actually got one, but it just took long, late bloomer, as you do. But he basically absorbs everyone's basically icon summon powers as he fights. Some of them give them to him, but some of them he like kicks the crap out of them, just steals it, which is kind of like, remember old Heroes, Peter Petrelli? When he absorbed everyone's powers, so kind of
You're on a bit like Sylar.
Yeah, Sylar. Well, Peter Petrelli just absorbed them, whereas Sylar cut their head open and stole it, which, to be fair, he did kind of mess some of them up and steal them. I think, like I said, I don't want to spoil too much because it's still really new. Like,
it's reasonably new. There's probably going to be people that get it over Christmas or pick it up in the Black Friday sales, which are coming up very shortly.
Yeah, because whereas Clive, he's not quite the silent, brooding protagonist, but he's a little bit. especially compared to most Final Fantasy games, your main character barely talks and just kind of, which I think they go for that because they don't want them. They want you to like play as him and not like sort of identify as that person and understand him. Whereas if they made him completely his own thing, like if they made him, like a 5'2" trans person or super camp gay, then I suppose the people you think, well, I don't really understand this dude, so you wouldn't really. That's why a lot of like main protagonists, they don't usually go for that type of thing. They like to keep him a little bit basic. But I think he of most of the Final Fantasy games, he's probably shown a lot more character and things like that. And I mean, the voice acting in this is probably one of the best voice acting in games I've ever seen.
It is good.
Or say,
he's been nominated.
It's not been nominated for nothing.
No, he has been nominated for best performance. Yeah.
Oh, that's good, yeah, because it was pretty good. And like I said, the icon battles, some of them, I think the first one I thought, it's a little bit boring, but it was like a tutorial. But some of them, like Webby, the one where you basically fight Hugo when he goes at, where he powers up and turns like 300 foot tall.
Yeah.
You're running, like you get blown off like a volcano, and then you're running as like Ifrit, like with that rock music.
Yeah.
And you're really chasing after him, dodging all like that. I mean, that was awesome. I played through that, and I was like, "Oh, would you like to save?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm going to restart and play that again," because that was just really good. But yeah.
Well, you can replay some of the actual fights in like the thingy mode, like. There's like a crystal. It's not really a spoiler. Oh, yeah. You get like a crystal in your hideout, which you can then access.
I mean, that stone thing that you can
and all that.
Play stuff and do. I didn't think of that because I didn't find that until like really late in the game. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that was there. I'm sure it told me in some form of tutorial that I ignored because, like I said, I either wasn't paying attention or maybe a little bit arrogant. I think, oh, I know all about video games. You don't have to teach me tutorials and the buttons. I could just do it natural. And then I'm like half an hour later Googling, how do I do this again? But yeah, really good game. I don't know if I liked it more than 15 because I did really like 15, but yeah, I do like Final Fantasy. A lot of those games. It's got me like hyped for 7 Remake 2 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
29th of February. Mark it in your calendars.
I've installed. What was last year's one, Webby?
Last year's what?
Crisis Core.
No, I got that one. The one before, because there was 2 out last year, weren't there? Strangers of Paradise.
Oh, Stranger of Paradise. Yeah. The spin-off game by Koei.
So I've got.
Very
it's
underrated.
Not a remake of 1, is it? But just the story, not the actual gameplay. Or set during the time of 1 or something.
Yes, it's the original Final Fantasy time 1.
So I've got that installed. That I fancy because I was going to play Remake again, like the remake, but I thought I might play this one instead. Rather.
Have you got Strangers of Paradise on your Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh, I might reinstall it then, and I'll co-op with you.
Nice. Have you finished it already, or did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it. I had someone help me along because it's quite hard. So
you're passing it on, helping me.
It's really good on co-op. So yeah, I'll definitely play it with you because
I'll message you later and we'll get some co-op done. I'm not, like I said, don't work nights anymore, so I actually get time to play video games.
Nice.
Yeah, so 16 done, uninstalled, enjoyed it.
Brilliant.
I think they are planning DLC for that as well.
For Strangers of Paradise?
No, 16. I think there's a DLC planned for it. Yeah, story DLC.
Well, that's a bit annoying. I don't like it.
Well, you can always.
Season
well, it all depends if. See, certain DLCs can be done well, even if it's just following another character's perspective at certain times of the story and actually playing out certain events, etc.
Yeah, I guess.
Could be done really well. But it depends again.
I don't know. I mean, I played the DLC of 15 because I think it was the same as you, Webby. I bought it when it came out, And then they did loads of updates and patches, and then they brought out like the whatever Game of the Year edition they called, which had all the DLC. But I think that actually those missions became available during the main campaign, like when they did, because one of the, like a couple of the, who's the guy that buggered off and went blind and then came back? I think you played as him.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, and the big muscly dude, like I said, really good with all their names. He disappeared for a little while and came back with his face all scarred up. But I think it let you play the DLC like chronologically.
Yeah.
For the Royal Edition, that's what that was called, because I played it on PS4 when it came out, and then I got the Xbox. I think it was like about £8 digital. So I thought, I'll do that, because that's got all the stuff and play it again. Because a lot of these games, they're worth a second playthrough, aren't they?
Well, if
like the Final Fantasies. I don't know why. I've got it again. I want to play Final Fantasy 8 again, even though I've probably played that like 7 or 8 times.
Great game.
Yeah. But yeah, It'd be nice to see the DLC, because I still haven't played that Yuffie DLC.
Oh, you need to play it. It's bloody good.
But it never goes on sale.
It does, but it usually only drops about 20-25%.
Yeah, it's like
really seen it drop lower than that.
We'll 12 or something.
We'll see what it goes for this Black Friday, I reckon, or Cyber Monday or whatever it is. But
but it's hard to tell, because you can't actually bookmark it and look on your phone, because I've tried. It just says not available separately. So the only way you can look is actually like have the game sort of installed on your PS5 and then go through the menus there to
you can literally put it in your wish list. Look, just add it to your wish list, and then when you turn your console on, it will notify you that game in your wish list is on sale. It does it on Xbox as well.
Well,
so you can just stick stuff in there and then it notifies you.
I add them to my wish list, and they actually email me when they go on sale. So I don't know if PlayStation do that as well. Because normally what I'll do is just bookmark it on my phone and then just have a look every so often. Because I normally Xbox stuff go on sale on a Tuesday, don't at the weekly sales, and PlayStation's on a Wednesday. And I think Switch is every leap year.
Cool. We're back to you, Darren.
Yeah, mentioned it earlier. Street Fighter 6. Been playing through that. They are doing what I suspected, having a battle passy kind of deal every month at the start of the month for like 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
Each one's been like themed on different things. So obviously you had the Halloween theme, and this month's current theme is actually like Final Fight themed.
Okay.
So you unlock the arcade title to play whenever you want from the past, and various other sort of outfit bits like Hagar and Sodom and stuff if you wanted to dress your character up like those. Obviously adds music and stuff to the game as well from some of the older titles, as they usually do. But yeah, I still think Street Fighter 6 is a fantastically made game. It is so much more of like a package than the last game ever was.
Yeah,
like, especially when that launched. Like bare bones, like you've got the Battle Hub, which is your online aspect and your sort of social area and all that kind of stuff. You've got World Tour, which is your single player, create a character, dick about, meet up with the other characters, etc. And then you've got the last one, which is your arcade mode, story mode, and all that sort of stuff for the characters as well.
Nice. That's good. I do need
definitely
to
been one of the better games of the year. Yeah. It still has, like, I will say, I do still absolutely despise the stupid sentient machines that you come across in World Tour.
Nice. Yeah, I will play it some more at some point. I don't know. Just get distracted too bloody easy with all these other games, man. Really do.
Sometimes it is good to just sort of slow down a little bit.
Like, I know.
There's sort of like a lot.
Yeah. I know. I know. Well, I've not even played any RoboCop this week. That's how busy I've been. So maybe next week.
I've played a little bit of it this week, but not really enough to sort of talk about. Only sort of about half hour or so.
Yeah.
But it's still one of those games where I'm just kind of like, I thought this game was going to be shit when it was announced.
And it's really good.
Yeah, it's you're just literally like, oh, here we go, another bloody movie tie-in, and by some random studio that's going to try, but probably fall over a little bit. But then you're just like, no, this is actually nailed really well.
Yeah.
And everything in it completely suffices for what it is, and it's like a happy surprise of the year.
It is,
we used to get quite a few happy surprises back in the day.
Yeah, they're very few and far between now, aren't they?
But normally when you think of like a sort of tie-in license game for like an old franchise, you just think of things like fucking Rambo.
Oh, God. Yes.
Etc.
Stumpy's favourite game. Oh, dear.
And to actually have a game that sort of nails the feeling of playing as RoboCop.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? Yeah.
But actually do it in a pretty good and fun way.
Yes.
Rather than it just being like, you're just a massive tank.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's great.
Cleaning up the scum in Detroit.
Yeah. Love it.
The only thing I heard, apparently, it was just really annoying because his footsteps are like really loud, and he just all the time, constantly, like dum dum dum, like every time you walk about. But
yeah, he doesn't actually move that fast.
No.
Well, yeah, I know that.
But it's sort of you're RoboCop. What do you expect? Like that's how he is.
Yeah. I think it's fucking awesome, man.
Someone was actually saying in something that they should give them licenses for some of the other films.
Yeah, that'd be good, man.
Imagine if they did like a They Live or something.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it'd be pretty hard because they'd be able to get back his mate, but not obviously Roddy to voice the characters.
Right.
Back to you.
Right. So I've been playing quite a lot this week of Modern Warfare 3. The full game finally released. Yeah. So I haven't played any more of the campaign since we last talked about it on the podcast, as I've literally all I've done is play the new multiplayer, which is basically just the old maps from the original game, and the new zombies mode. And I know it's been reviewing quite poorly.
That was for the campaign, though, wasn't it? I haven't really heard much about the more recent stuff.
Yeah, but I think the online is enjoyable. I really do. It's more Call of Duty. So, part of me thinks, yeah, they've been a little bit lazy because it's literally just a remake of all the old maps from the old Modern Warfare 3. But they are classic maps and they're really good. I'm not justifying my spend on them though because it's a little bit lazy. But it works well and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So that's the main thing for me. I'm having fun with me friends. Now, the main mode I've been playing though with D-Twin and a little bit with Peebs and with Gavin is the new zombies mode. Now, it's interesting. It's good. It is really good. It's interesting because I was a huge fan of the DMZ mode in Modern Warfare 2. Now, this is basically DMZ. There is a new Warzone map, which is only available if you buy Modern Warfare 3 at the minute for this mode. So it's basically like DMZ on the new Warzone map, but instead of fighting people and other players, you're fighting zombies and AI soldiers. But it is exactly like DMZ, where you go in as a squad of 3 and you bring in your gear and you can loot, and when you're in the game you can loot and all that stuff and all that jazz, but you need to evacuate in a helicopter before the timer's up on the game, you get half an hour per session. So basically, within the map, you've got to do these missions that are dotted around. But there's different zones. There's 3 different zones within the map. So the further in towards the middle you go, the harder it gets. So like the outer rim is like the easy zone, and then you've got like a middle circle, which is like the medium hard zone, and then you've got the middle bit, which is the super mega hard zone. And the further in you go, the better the reward, but the harder the zombies. But they've done it quite well because they've mixed it up with DMZ, because you go in with your loadouts and you can up, and your loot and stuff. But if you die, you lose it all. But they've mixed it up where in, like the old zombies mode where you can get your power-ups and you've got the guns on the walls as well and the random boxes and that's all in there.
Punch and all that.
Yeah, so it's quite a good mixture. And I was a bit dubious when I was watching videos of it online, thinking, what they fucking ruined DMZ, blah, blah, blah. But I'm really liking it because, yes, it's tough, but there's that, it feels a bit more relaxing than DMZ because you don't have to worry about fighting other players because it's PvE, So it takes that stress away. You're playing the game, but you're not going to get rolled up by a load of players who are just out to fucking just fuck you over. Because what would happen in DMZ is people would camp out on the extract zones and stuff like that just to fuck you over. Whereas on this, that when you go to the extract point, you're just going to get mobbed by zombies, and you've got to hold them off. So it's actually a really cool mode, actually. So the one complaint I will have with the game, it's not all roses. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and people have been moaning about the price. It's 60 or 70 quid, depending on what platform you get it on. But for a year's worth of gameplay, I can justify it because, I put over 400 hours into Modern Warfare 2, and I think 60 quid for 400 hours worth of gameplay, if I play Modern Warfare 3 that much, is definitely worth the money if you look at it at hours played for the cost. Now, the negative I will say, though, is it is like they're advertising it as a separate game, but I kind of see it as just an add-on for Modern Warfare 2. Because if you don't own Modern Warfare 3, but you own Modern Warfare 2, it all loads up the same menu. So it automatically loads into Modern Warfare 3's kind of main menu, and then if you want to play Modern Warfare 2, you've got to click on the Modern Warfare 2 in this COD HQ thing, and then on PC it takes you back to your desktop and then loads Modern Warfare 2, which is a bit shit. And on the Xbox, the achievements aren't separate; the achievements are within Modern Warfare 2, so it is pretty much a glorified £60-70 DLC.
Did you hear the glitch they had on PlayStation when people bought it and installed? They tried to run it, and that said, "Oh, you need to install Modern Warfare 2 to play this."
Yeah, it's fucking stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean they did say they were going to skip this year and just have more DLC for this and more map packs, and then they just did it. So
remember when you just used to put a disc in?
The same, exactly the same.
So apparently, if you buy the disc for Modern Warfare 3, I read this today, it installs Modern Warfare 2. And then you have to go and download Modern Warfare 3 from that COD HQ thing.
Just simplicity, folks. That's the whole point of technology. Simplicity.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not defending it at all because I think it's shoddy business practice. They just should have had it completely separate, not in this fucking stupid menu, because it's not like they put all the maps together, the multiplayer maps, or anything like that. It's completely separate. That's the thing, Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer are separate. Warzone's its own thing. All these things are completely different. So why, I don't understand why you need to load up Modern Warfare 2 3 to get into Modern Warfare 2. Just have it as a fucking separate thing. You know, I just think it's fucking ridiculous that they've done that. I really do. So yeah, I'm not amused, but at the same time, I'm a sucker because I bought it and I am enjoying it because there's nothing else like it. It is a fun game, but it's just some shoddy business practices there, in my opinion. So. But the multiplayer is fun. The zombies is fun. The campaign is a bit crap, which is what's been reviewed.
Is it just that it's short? Is that why?
I mean, I've not finished it, but it's just the levels I've done are all a bit like Warzone, which is like I play a campaign to play a campaign.
I've heard they actually lifted one of the locations in the actual campaign from Warzone.
Everything is from the old Warzone map.
That's
from
ridiculous.
The campaign.
That's cheeky as fuck.
It's
even I watched a
I was having a discussion at work. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I watched a video today on YouTube, Game and Bolt, their review.
Yeah.
And I was watching I was like, that's Warzone. That's the bit where you're in the gulag. That's that bit. And I'm like, oh, so they literally just recycled the old Warzone map and just made that into a campaign. And they said it starts off okay for about 1 or 2 missions, and then it just becomes paint by numbers, walk from area to area, shooting things with no sense to it at all.
Oh, how annoying! Yeah, so yeah, I'm only up to the 3rd mission on it, and I just was like, "Fuck this!" And I actually, because I bought this before the multiplayer come out, so I actually refunded it on Steam. Got a refund, and then the multiplayer come out, and D-Twin and Gav were playing it, and they were telling me how much fun they were having. So I was like, oh, I want to be a sucker and fucking buy it again, aren't I? And I was. And yeah, as I say, I'm enjoying the multiplayer and the zombies, but I think campaign-wise, from what I've played, is garbage. And it's actually, I think it's one of the worst reviewed CODs of all time. I think it's got a Metascore of like 5 out of 10 or something. It's really low.
They used to review bomb a lot of them, didn't they? But I think this one is actually
but that's users. Yeah, this is on the critics and all that as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think this one is deservedly rubbish.
Yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame because the multiplayer and the zombies is decent. It's just they should have stuck with the traditional campaign, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I think this is like one of the shortest times, they had to make it as well. Yeah. Like, development cycle, it was like really quickly.
Yeah.
Is this because of the fact that there was a rumour that we weren't going to get a COD for a few years anyway, that they were taking time out? Maybe this was just slapped together quickly.
Well,
hence why they reused a ton of the assets from DMZ and stuff in the campaign, etc.
Well, because we read online, this was like a year when Modern Warfare 2 came out. They said there's not going to be a game next year. They want to run Modern Warfare 2 for 2 years
and run off the wall, off the free-to-play mode, to support it as well.
So I was really shocked when they announced Modern Warfare 3 because I was like, hang on a minute, this is meant to be a gap year, and I'm frustrated, not the fact that they've brought out Modern Warfare 3, it's more the fact of throughout the year, because I play a lot, I playing a lot of the Modern Warfare 2 actual normal multiplayer because I really enjoy that type of game mode, yeah. And throughout the whole year, they've been drip feeding new maps, and they've all been really good, right? And they even brought out some new map packs about a month or 2 ago, and now it's like all of those maps are now redundant because everyone's moved on to Modern Warfare 3. And that's really annoyed me because one of the reasons I bought Modern Warfare 2 is because they said it's going to run for 2 years. So I was thinking, oh yeah, I get to play all these great maps online, etc. for 2 years. But no.
Do you remember when they allowed you to have your maps from GRAW in GRAW 2?
Oh, those were the days, mate.
All those years ago.
I've still got GRAW 2 installed on my Series X, mate, and my Series S. Because there's still servers running to this day. Perhaps we should hop back on there, mate. There's still people playing it.
Oh yeah, certain games do still go, because I remember speaking to a bloke at work about something, and he said he jumped on it and was like, yeah, there's people playing it still.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, why do you think so many people like play stuff like Counter-Strike, which is like years old?
Yeah.
And Dotas and all of those kind of games are still hugely popular, and they're old games.
Yeah. Definitely. Anyway, that's Modern Warfare 3, people. So back to Nick.
Yeah, so when I finished Resi and obviously I played, so it went on to Game Pass, which is good because I had it in my hand at Asda and I was like, don't buy it, you know it's coming on Game Pass, as Dead Space remake.
Oh yeah, great game.
Yeah, so I've been playing that. I never played the original, even though I've got it on Xbox. Like, I think it's through backwards compatible. Like, I think 'cause they used to go really cheap, like £3 and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I'm going to play. I was actually really close to playing it, and then I found out they'd doing the remakes. I thought, I might as well wait for the remake now. So I never played the original, but then being a Resi fan, you'd have thought, that's right up my alley, and that is, I'm really enjoying it. I must played for 5 or 6 hours so far. I think it's just, the shooting's pretty good, the graphics are really good, it's quite atmospheric, like dark and scary. And yeah, I think it's only about maybe 12 hours long, so I think I'm about a third of the way through. And obviously, being a new game, there was a few bugs and glitches for me, which was, I've only had one, which was quite bad. It stopped. I had to restart the whole game, and I was running around for about half an hour because I thought, what was I supposed to do? I don't know if it was in the original, Webby, because did you play the original and the remake, didn't you, Webby?
Yes, I did, yeah.
I don't know if this was in the original, but in this one, if you click in the thumbstick, it puts like a little line telling you where to go.
Yeah.
And there was a bit, and this was during the tutorial, so like on the first or second level, where it's telling you to go across like this sort of like big open area. And I was like, well, I can't. There's no bridge or nothing. And basically, you're supposed to press the sticks in together to put your jetpack so you can, float over there.
Yeah. But
the glitch was that tutorial should have happened and told me how to do it, and it never happened.
Right.
So I'm like, sure, it didn't tell me how to float or something like that. Then I thought, well, maybe I can only do that, you can only do that in certain areas of the game. You can't just float anywhere. So I'm like, this is weird. So I was running, and someone in the chat was like, yeah, you press the two, like RB and LB in, and then you float. And I'm like, that's not happening. So I looked, so I basically restarted it, and I was like, oh, and then the tutorial started. And it actually tells you, it puts the button, the buttons on top of the guy when you can do that. So I was like, oh, great. So I just spent half an hour running around. So, even a remake of like a 15-year-old game, like 6 months or however long after coming out, still got a few bugs in it. But I do like it. Some of the things was like childish is, like you can like stamp your feet when you like kill the enemies. You can like stamp on them and like smash them all into pieces and blood everywhere so you can get the items out of them.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that was in the original. But then whenever I see other people, like, sometimes you walk into a room and one of the crew is like, oh, help me, and then he just dies in front of you. And I'm like, I'll help you, mate. Come here. And then I stamp on him to bits as well. Because I'm horrible, apparently. But
very nice, is it?
But yeah, I'm not a very nice person, Webby. You should know this. Not in video games. In real life, I'm lovely. In video games, I just want to kill everything. But I'm enjoying this. Hopefully, I should be able to get it done. Like I said, it's not that long, so I'll probably finish that in the next week or so. Because I think my Game Pass runs out in the middle of December. And I don't think I'm going to keep it going for a while because there's not much on there that I want anymore.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, yeah, there's nothing. Well, until something comes out at some point next year. I mean, so I said, I haven't after like since I've had it since it got announced. So what's it like 4 years, 5 years? Well, I want to say it was 2018. Did they announce it when Series X came out?
I can't remember now the date, to be honest.
It's got to be 40. I mean, we've had, 2 Forza Horizon games, a Gears of War, a Halo, and things like that. But I did the thing where I bought, 3 years of gold and then converted it to Game Pass.
Yeah.
I think I already had almost a year, so I've had a good 4 to 5 years, and I haven't really paid the whole. Is it £11 or £12 a month or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've had that. So I've probably had my money's worth because, like I said, I would have bought both Horizon games, probably Halo, and get so that you're talking 4 50, 60 quid games, and a few others I've tried that I probably can't remember all of them. Some of them that went day one Game Pass. So I probably still have my money's worth, but I'm just going to let it slide for 2 or 3 months for a while. Possibly go on to PlayStation 1 for a little while, see how that goes.
Shocking. You're sounding like Peeps, going to turn into a PlayStation fucking fanboy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. A few of my mates at work only play on PlayStation.
Well, so fuck them.
Yeah. But because the crossplay sort of dying a death again now, isn't it? Not as many games to crossplay as they used to.
Are you sure? Diablo's crossplay, COD's crossplay. What else do you need?
Maybe. The games they're playing aren't crossplay.
Right. I mean, it depends if it's worth it to you, because what I do is I do the old VPN trick, and I normally get 3 years of Ultimate for about 100 quid.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. I'm just gonna can get something like that. I'm not just gonna let it roll on to 11, 12 quid a month, because
I
did that thing because recently, I don't know if on Xbox they did update it a little bit, and also so you could see what games you got digital, what games you got installed from the disc, and also what's on Game Pass, because I have the little Game Pass in the corner.
Yeah,
and I looked at that and I was like, I've got one game installed after Dead Space on Game Pass, so I'm like, I just looked through it all. I thought I've either got them all, played them all, or don't really want to play them.
That's fair enough, mate. No, well, if you're not playing them, don't waste your money, mate. No, it makes complete sense.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know, because they've finished gold. So what do I have to do to just play online?
You need Game Pass. There's 3 different.
Is it Core?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, Core. That's it. Yeah. I know, it's stupid. They should have just left it as
that's
gold.
Not 40 quid a month, 40 quid a year, is it?
I don't know how much it is, mate. Something like that.
I know that went up, and then PlayStation went up, and then PlayStation went up again this year to, what is it, 70 a month for PlayStation Plus just to play online?
70 a year, yeah. It's 120 a year for the Ultimate, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think Xbox will probably do that again. I think they've put the price up of that just to think, well, I might as well pay extra to get it with all the games.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. Yeah, either that or won't play anything online, and I'll just play my Dreamcast again.
Yeah, it'd just be boring. Yeah.
That's not boring. That's interesting.
They also updated the profiles on Xbox, so you can see there's little badges on your profile telling you how many years you've been subscribed to Xbox Live. So I felt really old today because I've got a 20-year badge on mine. 20
I don't know
years.
What I got, because I had a different account and stuff. I don't even know where that is. Where is that? I've got a picture of Discord. I've got a 13.
No, that's pretty good, man.
And an Xbox Live Gold something to something, 2002 to 2023 badge.
Yeah, that's what I've got a badge saying that. Yeah, and then 20.
Because I think I wasn't online for a long time on 360, and I had a separate account. And then when I went online, I made a whole new account, which I didn't know. That's why I lost all my old saves and stuff.
Right.
So it's on a different account, but.
Yeah. So I was just thinking today when I saw those badges on there, like 20 years. That's bloody insane. That's crazy to me, man. It feels like yesterday since I first signed up on that OG Xbox. Fucking mad. Yeah. I've had some money out of me, bastards.
There
we go.
Yeah, that's me done.
Cool. Darren, anything else from you, mate?
Not really, just dailies on like Final Fantasy, etc.
Fair enough.
Nothing to really write home about.
I've only played one other game I'm going to briefly mention. A little game I've not talked about for a while, actually. Hypercharge Unboxed. It's basically you play as toys, and the mission is to defend these like tower things. It's first-person shooter, but you play as toys. And my little boy absolutely loves it. It's only on PC at the minute, but I believe it's coming to console at some point. And because we play split screens, it's kind of very old school. There's actually a split screen mode, 2 controllers, and we're just running around, shooting toys and defending the tower things. That's really good. It really is. So, yeah. You should check it out when it comes to console because I think you'd enjoy it. It's good fun. So that's all I've played, dudes. That's all I've played. I'm guessing we're going to get to the news then. Yeah.
Yeah. We've had some this week, haven't we?
We have had some news. So there was an announcement online this week that from Rockstar that the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer is coming in early December. There was an announcement for a trailer. Can you believe it? Crazy. Are you excited?
That's just going to be a 30-second teaser trailer.
I wonder if it'll even have any gameplay. Yeah.
I can believe that game came out 10 years ago.
Oh no, it's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy.
I want to buy it again on PS5. I don't know why.
Because you're crazy. Is it not on PlayStation Plus? Because it's on Game Pass at the minute.
I've already got it on Xbox.
Well, that's the console to play it on.
Yeah, but my PlayStation's in the living room on a big TV.
Oh, right. Well, you should...
Can't move my Xbox.
Well, you need to promote your Xbox to the big telly and demote your gay station.
Interesting.
That's what I say. That is what I say.
Or I could just buy it again.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, so apparently the rumour is that the main protagonist is going to be a lady this time as well. So
I thought it was supposed to be a couple or brother and sister or something like that. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a male and a female protagonist that you switch between.
Cool. That sounds quite cool.
I mean, hopefully they've shied away from that for a while, haven't they? Because of the, because you just know. I mean, GTA always gets like the publicity and the negativity, but especially in this day and age, they're just going to be like, oh, in GTA you play as a woman who constantly gets raped and shot and murdered over. It's a woman murder simulator. Will somebody please think of the children? And you're like, nah, mate, that's just what your 5-year-old is doing, who you shouldn't have bought the game for in the first fucking place.
Yeah, 100%. The other bit of news is Valve have announced a new Steam Deck. So as you can imagine, I was really pleased when this news came out because I only bought my Steam Deck about 4 or 5 months ago.
Is it more money or is it like...
It's the same price.
And the other ones have gone... Is it a sale or have everyone's officially gone down in price a bit?
Well, they will have done because they're going to stop doing them now. So the new one's it's an OLED screen with a higher refresh rate and a better battery life. So, as you can imagine, lots of current Steam Deck owners are upset. I'm not bothered because I never have an issue with my battery running out when I don't need to play it. So, and I think the screen is decent anyway, so I'm not that bothered. I think it's a great system. What I've got, it's not like it's a Steam Deck 2. It's like the Switch going up to the OLED, isn't it? You know, so.
What is the thing? Because I was seeing online, they're talking about, the 64 gigs are never in stock or something. They are now, but can't you just put an a micro SD card in and just make it as big as you want?
That's what she said. Yeah, so I've got the 512 version because it's got the anti-glare screen, but it's got an SD card slot, so you can just you just buy an SD card and slot it in. Yeah, it's fine. You know, I've got a 512 NVMe inside, and I've got a 512 SD card, and that's enough. Just playing my Steam games on it, you know, and Diablo.
But I meant so other than having the 512, it's just got a slight anti-glare screen.
Yeah,
and the 64 wouldn't have. But now, if they're all OLED, is there just one standard? Like, is it just
no? I think they're the top tier ones are 1 terabyte now.
Is that like a anti-glare screen OLED, or are they all know exactly?
I think so. Okay. So I think instead of 2565 and 512, they're doing a 512 and a 1 terabyte. They are still doing a 64 gig one, but that's still the old version. They're not doing a newer, updated of the cheap one.
I mean, I'll see. Like, I think I saw Digital Foundry or someone did like a comparison, so they must have had it ready.
Yeah.
But I mean, my mate, he's got an OLED Switch, which is nice, and yeah, you could see his is better than mine, sort of side by side. But the most thing you notice with the Switch OLED is the fact that the screen is bigger, even though the bit forms, they've just the borders aren't as big.
Yeah, so what they're doing with the Steam Deck is they're getting rid of those borders as well, and they're making it a little bit bigger. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm just looking now, and I was wrong a little bit. So they're doing a 512 and a 1 terabyte version.
Right.
But the new LCD version is the 256 gig one. So they're not doing anything smaller than 256 gig anymore. So that's quite cool. Yeah.
So how much is the Super OLED now?
£569, which is exactly the same price as the old 512 version. So, yeah, I think that's quite
tempted because I want a new iPad or something for this year.
Yeah,
I'm sort of tempted to either get that or something like that. But then my old iPad is absolutely knackered. So
yeah. So yeah, man, all good. And another bit of news that the Golden Joystick Awards have happened already, right? So they've done their Game of the Year already. It's only fucking November. I mean,
well, what's left to come out?
There's still 6 weeks of the year. I mean, no, it annoys me because there has been years where great games have come out like the first week or two of December, and then they miss out. It pisses me off. I think you do Game of the Year at the end of the fucking year, not in November. It is ridiculous, January, in my opinion. Yeah, because that's when we do our ones for the podcast around January, because it makes fucking sense.
Because the year's finished.
Yeah.
We can talk about the year.
Yeah. So it's fucking shit. Anyway, I want to go through some of the winners with you guys. So, best storytelling went to Baldur's Gate 3. The Still Playing Award went to No Man's Lie. Fucking ridiculous. Should have gone to Final Fantasy 14, in my opinion. Best Visual Design, Baldur's Gate 3. Studio of the Year, Larian Studios, which are the makers of Baldur's Gate 3. Best Game Expansion, Cyberpunk, which, makes sense. Best Indie Game went to Sea of Stars. Now, I think Sea of Stars should have been in the Game of the Year list because it's that fucking good, but who am I, eh? Lowly 360 Gamer Cast, fucking host, whatever. Best VR game, Horizon Call of the Mountain. Best multiplayer game. Now, this caused a lot of controversy online because what the fuck? Best multiplayer game, they awarded Mortal Kombat.
What?
Yeah. What? Indeed, Darren.
Is that just like, fuck it, we'll just give them an award. What one can we give them? Just pick a random one. Throw a dart at a ball.
That's the most ridiculous thing in life, because I saw on Twitter, or X is now called, under the Game Award things, and people were like, I bought more Mortal Kombat and the online is fucking dog shit, it doesn't work, it's laggy, and all this shit. And I was thinking, what the fuck would they give it to them? Like, there's loads of multiplayer games that come out this year. Like, why give it to that? I don't get it.
Yeah, you want to focus on a game that's strictly multiplayer for a multiplayer game.
Yeah. So I thought that was a bit odd, to be honest, but so along with lots of other people. Best audio went to Final Fantasy 16. Best game trailer, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. Best streaming game, Valorant. Best community game, best game community, Baldur's Gate. Best gaming hardware, PSVR 2.
Best game community. How is that, like discussions between the developers and the public, or?
I have no idea, mate. I don't know.
It's like most fan bases for any fandom is kind of like you stick your head in the door, but you want to take a fucking gas mask with you.
Bizarre, isn't it? Breakthrough Award went to Cocoon. The Critics' Choice Award went to Alan Wake 2. Best lead performer, who gives a fuck about that. Nintendo Game of the Year, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. PC Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3. Xbox Game of the Year, Starfield. PlayStation Game of the Year, Resident Evil 4. Wasn't even a PlayStation exclusive. Weird. Most Wanted Game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And Ultimate Game of the Year was Baldur's Gate 3. And that was the awards. So some weird ones there for sure, man. Any thoughts on that, guys? Any thoughts? You just like, yeah, whatever, it's shite.
Did they show any trailers?
I don't really pay too much attention to award shows per se.
No, me too. I mean, the most popular ones are Game
earlier.
Awards,
we watched them for trailers and stuff. Yeah, we watch them for trailers and reveals and
did
just
say
for a little bit of
what happened a few hours or today about the Game Awards?
What about it? They've got their top 6 on there, haven't they?
Yeah, well, they've obviously some people are mad, which we know whether Hogwarts hasn't been nominated for anything, and they're like,
not for a single award.
Yeah, and they're like,
Yeah, why? I don't understand that, because it's a fucking phenomenal game. Really is.
It looks really well
the J.K.
made,
Rowling stuff, and that Game Awards tend to have a lot of those types of people. Not like
lunatics,
people that would be offended with that sort of stuff. Yeah. Even though, but it is what it is, isn't it? But I just think if she wasn't getting all the, grief and controversial opinions, that this game would be. I wouldn't surprise if it won it, to be honest, because normally it ticks all the boxes.
Well,
can't people still vote for it in like the player's choice?
Yeah, I don't even know if they'll allow you to, mate.
I think so.
I don't even know if you can do that anymore.
I've not voted
Don't you really just disallow someone voting for a game for a stupid fucking reason?
Yeah.
So,
in which case, it's pointless having the awards then.
Yeah.
So it's all just a big circle jerk.
So they've missed out on loads of games on the Game Awards, because they've got Game of the Year awards. You can only choose between 6 games.
Yeah.
And those games,
I'm sure it used to be more than that.
Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That is it. No Final Fantasy 16. No Sea Stars. No
just think how Alan Wake is only just out, and so's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And obviously, I reckon they decided they were going to have Spider-Man there, 6 months ago, they decided that was going to be put in for the nomination for the Game of the Year, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you know why as well, yeah.
Well, not just because of, the pro whatever stuff. It's because it's Sony's big exclusive.
Yeah, but no Starfield on that list either. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's surprising, yeah.
So, fucking bollocks, mate. Absolute bollocks.
Webby, I know you said you liked Alan Wake and it'd be on your top 10, whatever, but, that's because you've enjoyed it and you've just played it.
Yeah.
But would you, in the grand scheme of things, put that ahead of Final Fantasy 16 or Hogwarts?
I would actually.
I would, well, because you like it. No, but if if you would taking into account everything.
But I would have in that rundown. I would have added Hogwarts and Final Fantasy, and personally Yakuza as well. Your Starfield,
it's as good as any of them,
quite a few games. So they've admitted quite a few fucking astounding games this year, and for Hogwarts to not be in any category that I can see on their website, I think is fucking ridiculous, and I know why. Exactly know why, because of that fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? So yeah, fucking bollocks, absolute bollocks. So, yeah.
Although that's one of those things where you're like, again, with the year's gone by pretty quickly, hasn't it? And then you're like, oh, Hogwarts came out this year, didn't it? Shit, that feels like a while
Sometimes you get a game that comes out in January, February. Like this one was quite early, and maybe because it's so early, people forget about it and things like that. But usually the critics don't forget about it.
Start of next year is going to be quite busy as well, isn't it? Like from January onwards for a while.
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for February. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2. Guys,
I'm more excited for Grand Blue Fantasy. To be honest.
Well, that's you. But Final Fantasy for me. I do need to end it here because it is nearly 10:30.
Oh, wow.
Time's ticking on. We've been going for nearly 2 hours, so I would like to end it here. We did start a little bit late. So, sorry to cut it short, guys, on our conversation.
That's fine.
But it's been awesome. Darren, you're not here next week. Nick, mate, Mike, are you here? I don't know. Are you here next week?
Sunday, not Monday.
Sunday, not Monday. Okay, I'll get back to you. I should be able to make Sunday work. Should be okay. But I will confirm in the WhatsApp in the week.
Sorted.
Cool. Awesome, because I'm recording another podcast on Saturday as well. So, busy times. Spookspiracies episode 3 has been recorded on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I missed episode 2.
Well, you need to get on it, mate. It's on the YouTube. So from all of us here, it's been amazing. So from me, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Pearson D, Steam ID, Webby, 360 to the G.
Nick Fights on Twitter and Twitch.
And also Twitch.
So thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.